at the moment, we're focused on product innovation to give cost saving, off-site solutions for most of the on-site applications. So this is a feature that we're finding is on the increase, but they are actually enforcing the need to stick with certain suppliers to avoid inferior imports, which from the general election point of view, well, first of all, we're not seeing a slowdown at all. You know, it's challenging. We have to adapt and adjust to the challenges. We're good at that. We always say we can spin on a sixpence if we need to. Being an independent, we don't have to cut through red tape to go up the ladder and all the way back down.
Ian Aitchison, thank you for taking the time to come out and visit us. Really appreciate it, especially in the heat. We're going to be talking about predominantly innovation today, not just in product but across servicing and supply chain as well. So if we jump right in, Park Electrical project operations and Modular. Could you give us a bit of information on what that is, why it's been introduced?
Yes, so Park Electrical, as a large independent electrical wholesaler in the Northeast, we're always looking for unique selling points. So these USPs are what we believe set us apart from our competitors. They're very instrumental in creating strong relationships and laying firm foundations for the future of the business. So many years ago, Park put a specific focus into developing a lighting design department. This department has flourished within the business and has given us a recognised kudos, which enables us to maintain strong bonds in the industry and open new doors.
Brilliant. And how's that been received by customers?
It's been well received. Initially, the solutions were rolled out to specific contractors, but if I could touch up more on some of the solutions. So as one of the largest wholesalers, it's important to understand the market and ensure that our offerings are always keeping pace with changing industry trends. Park recognised some years ago there was a definite need to offer a service which took away the pain and the wastage costs when trying to fabricate or create solutions on site. If they thought they could be done in a more controlled sort of off-site environment. This forward-thinking attitude resulted in Park engaging with a local company who could offer engineered solutions from pre-wired components for easy install to specific bespoke bracketry.
Brilliant.
So you ask how they've been received. They were rolled out to specific contractors initially, but as time passed by, it was apparent that they were beginning to evolve a bespoke offering of solutions that would be well received by the wider industry. So this resulted in discussions with our third-party company, and as a result, bringing the Park Modular Solutions team on board last year during 2023.
Brilliant. And I mean, it does seem to be there seems to be a bit of a call in the industry for modular and building off-site, and people seem to be shifting and gravitating towards that now. And it's good that it's been well received on your part. But what do you see the future of these services being?
So when we initially started this additional side to the business, it was in a modest commercial premises in Northumberland. But due to the increase of workload, we're now looking to relocate to larger premises, expand the workforce, expand the offering, and manage the growing demand, which we're starting to see come through.
Excellent, brilliant. And then if we look at other services that you offer, and I forgive me if I go off script or anything at any point, but are there any other services that you're looking to offer innovation on? Are you looking at other areas where you might be able to support customers?
So at the moment, we're focused on product innovation to give cost saving, off-site solutions for most of the on-site applications. So this is a feature that we're finding is on the increase as contractors look towards new methods to increase their own productivity, lessen health and safety risks, and meet the demands placed upon them to reduce any environmental impact as they strive towards net zero.
Brilliant. And why do you feel that some products, because from our perspective, products, Conlock, Rapid Saddle, they've resonated more, and I think it's because my interpretation is because they look so similar to their more traditional counterparts. Why do you think some products struggle to take off?
So we're seeing a lot of take-up of new innovative products. We're also recognising there's still many contractors that are applying old traditional methods That's driven by a generation of skilled workers doing it their way, but they're steadily taking notice of new ways and gradually beginning to recognise the greater cost saving, more efficient picture, and are gradually moving across to a new way of thinking.
Okay. Are you seeing that more with a certain demographic of customers? Is it younger, older, or is it just a blend?
Well, I wouldn't put it down to age, but put simply, we're seeing a definite take-up increase as we continue to partner with large contractors. Some of the blue chip sites across the north that we've been involved in, we're seeing our offerings being taken up by many subcontractors, which has been influenced by the main contractor.
Yeah, okay.
They're now recognising the value that Park Modular can bring to their project operation. This has meant that we're being approached by an increasing number of small to medium-sized contractors who are looking for a wide array of solutions.
Okay, great. So hopefully the forecast looks bright for innovation.
Yeah.
Okay, brilliant. And then in supply chain, then, so are there any innovative things that you've seen within the supply chain that you think that's good, and maybe we should expand that?
Well, Park will always welcome innovative changes from the supply chain. We'd like to see suppliers increase their investment in stocks, both existing and new product lines, greater transparency with supplier stock levels via online ordering, specific focus on training, especially with the new products.
Yeah.
And these factors will be instrumental in developing a mutually beneficial partnership, not only from a B2B angle, but also instilling a confidence in our clients and ultimately the end user.
Okay.
The benefits of Park streamlining their supply chain to support those suppliers that meet this criteria are numerous and reciprocal back up the chain.
Okay. And have you seen anything come through, anything that maybe, competitors or further up the supply chain, you've seen some innovation that you think, we need greater adoption of that?
Well, in no way are we looking to reinvent the wheel with the supply chain, but we value working with partner suppliers and customers in such a way that we can guarantee full traceability of products and ensure quality of those products being provided meets the required standards.
Okay, brilliant. And do you see many, and this is a question that we didn't discuss before, so forgive me, but do you see many issues around product quality just generally in the marketplace?
So to give an example of that, we're involved on a prestigious site up in the northeast, which I won't name, but they are actually enforcing the need to stick with certain suppliers to avoid inferior imports, which, this is a multi-million-pound project, and for someone to decide to save a few pennies on the odd fixings and creating a potential disaster situation is not what we're into. Brilliant. So it's important that we stick to that supply chain traceability. Yeah.
Well, that's music to my ears. So hopefully people that listen will enjoy that as well, because certainly we need more of that. And if we use projects then as a bit of a segue into, we're recording this a month or so after the results of the general election. What impacts do you see from that on the industry?
So from the general election point of view, well, first of all, we're not seeing a slowdown at all. We measure our business in sectors. So we have a core business, which represents about 60% of our turnover. We've got a light and design business, which brings 30%. Then we have our smart homes and our previously mentioned modular solutions business, which is it's starting to gain more ground. It will return around about 10% of the total turnover. Okay. So the core business, being the largest chunk of the business, as we stand, roughly 65% of 2024 gone, being into sort of mid-August now. The core business is currently almost 10% ahead of last year, bang on forecast. The project business is slightly lagging. The remainder of the business is fairly new, so there's no real comparables, but looking at it, it's starting to come through fine. So the core business for us is always the indicator, and although the light and design projects are playing catch up in a way, we've got enough orders and a real healthy pipeline which will lift us above any forecast figures for 2024.
Okay.
And if we use 2023, which is a fantastic year for Park, as a comparison, then we're smashing it across all departments. And especially pleasing, it's the return which has improved largely due to new innovations.
Okay.
So this extra revenue is now wisely being used to support our latest quest as we venture out of the Northeast and into Yorkshire.
Yep.
With 2 new bricks and mortar branches for 2024.
Brilliant. Again, I mean, that's quite an encouraging message, I think, because this year, I think most people would agree it's been a more challenging year, certainly than last year. And so to hear such a positive story across the board for Park.
Yeah. So while we're aware of the challenges, and we're aware that a lot of our competitors are experiencing sort of a flat line at the moment, we took the decision in 2023 to look at remodeling the business to take us into the next league, if you like. We identified the need to establish a project logistics operation, which we opened in Thornaby. The idea of that is because Park are so involved in some quite large, prestigious projects, not just Northeast, could be in Scotland and down towards London. We needed to put a focus on ensuring that the logistics of managing these larger projects had the extra attention that was required. And at the same time, by taking a lot of that bulk away from the branches, allowing the managers of the business to focus on their core operations. So we're starting to see the benefits of that come through now.
Brilliant. And do you think would you say that's the biggest factor in your, I suppose, your risk management and this positive story that you've got in 24?
So I don't think it was the biggest factor, but it was definitely something that we had to do as a business to address what could have become a kind of inefficiency, which was going to start growing as the business started to grow. So we've started to expand our footprint out of the Northeast.
Yes.
There's a definite need to have a dedicated department to be able to look at the logistics of getting things from A to B, handling the schedule of call-offs from our customers, and as I said earlier, putting a specific focus on these projects to make sure that the client gets exactly what they want.
Brilliant.
At the right time.
And what's I think, as with the positive story around growth that you've given us insight into, I think another thing that people will latch onto, certainly that I have, is this: you're putting 2 physical branches in, because it'd be very easy for everybody to just start to remove that aspect of their business and start to emphasize online. So what's been, if you're able to share with us, what's been behind that commitment to the areas, to the customers?
Yeah, okay. So, Park's established 35 years in the Northeast, and we're seeing a fantastic growth, I think, from 2012 to 2023. So over an 11-year period, if I remember the statistics, we've grown by something like 244%.
Wow, okay.
So we've just engaged in a 5-year plan to continue that trajectory of growth. So if I simply half it and say that we want to grow the business by another 120%, we're not going to do it in the Northeast alone. We've got to start looking at moving outside of the area. So the first neighbouring area is Yorkshire. So as we start to creep down, and we're finding as we start to gain quality people, we're beginning to find that it's easier to add quality people. So we've got 2 initial branches opening in West Yorkshire. We've also identified a further site, which I won't go into great detail at the moment, which should start to accelerate that growth throughout Yorkshire and beyond.
Brilliant. It's really nice to hear, because it's so easy to just everything's digital, nobody talks anymore, and that's one of the core foundations of this industry, certainly in the United Kingdom. That relationship between wholesaler and customer and manufacturer as well. So fantastic. And I mean, we've touched on the projects wider, but I'm going to guess the answer is no, but are you seeing a slowdown in the Northeast specifically?
No slowdown for Park.
Okay, fantastic, brilliant. So overall, it's a positive picture.
It's a positive picture. It's challenging. We have to adapt and adjust to the challenges. We're good at that. We always say we can spin on a sixpence if we need to.
Okay.
Being an independent, we don't have to cut through red tape to go up the ladder and all the way back down.
Yeah.
So we pride ourselves in being able to make those fast decisions.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
Fantastic. And just before we move on to the final couple of questions, have you got? I mean, you've mentioned an additional building that I understand you can't give us masses of information on, but are there any other projects or ideas in the pipeline to continue this growth?
Well, of course. I mean, Park's always been strong on core products. So you look at cable containment, and then we've got the lighting department. What we haven't really broken into yet, but we're starting to look at is the renewables market.
Okay.
So I can't say too much about that either at the moment, but we'll be starting to explore further options and opportunities as time goes on in the near future.
That makes sense. Certainly it's one of the key topics that keeps coming up again and again, and has for decades now, really. Yeah. So, understood. Okay, well, the final couple of questions that we ask everybody that comes in, the first one is, what do you think are the greatest opportunities for, I'm going to ask for wholesalers and also for contractors in the UK?
Well, again, it comes back to probably some of these new opportunities. For Park, the renewables market is presenting a fantastic market, I think there's going to be quite an uptick again in the housing market.
Okay.
So it's just keeping abreast of those developments and getting involved,
Makes sense. And how do you think that we as an industry can work better together?
Well, I would just say it comes down to one word for me, and that's partnerships.
Yeah.
Partnerships from B to B to C, all the way through, right from start to finish. So again, traceability and trust.
Trust.
Yes.
Yeah, absolutely. Foundation. It's such a significant value, and I won't say it's completely lost, but I think we've let mistrust creep in at different levels, and it's led to we've got a bit tribal, I think, in the supply chain. So, okay, fantastic. Well, hopefully people have got some insights. I mean, it's so refreshing, as I said earlier, to hear such a positive story, and you seem like you've got a real clear path for where you want to go. And
absolutely,
as I said at the start, we really appreciate taking the time to come down. As soon as we stop recording, I will put the aircon back on because it's quite warm now. But Ian Aitchison, thank you for coming out, and
thank you for inviting me.
Yeah, no worries at all. And I'm assuming, are you on LinkedIn? Have you got some contact information you can pass on if people want to get in touch? Or
yes, I do have.
Just search in it. We'll put it in the description below.
Search my name, it comes up. Yeah.
Brilliant. All right, we'll make sure that's in there. Once again, Ian, thank you for taking the time.
Okay,
Pleasure.
Thank you.
Cheers.
Thanks.
Cheers.